Welcome back to Community Matters. We're talking about planning for college. And with us now is Dr. Christine Hall, founder of CMH College Consulting. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you.
Going to college, I remember, boy, I'm out of high school, and I was thrilled about that. And so I started looking for colleges near beaches. Probably the wrong criteria. How do you choose schools?
Well, there are a lot of factors that I look at. I start with looking at the students' academic abilities, as well as their areas of interest and their personality. I take a lot of criteria into effect, as well as how far they want to be from home, what their parents can afford. I like to see how the student learns, and I take all those factors into account and try to find a school that fits all of those factors, so that I can make sure that when we go to send the student to that school, that they're in a school that fits all of their needs, so that they can graduate in 4 years.
Well, that's the goal. It always is. When do you begin to work with a student? I mean, if parents are watching here this morning, when does that happen? And it sounds like you get pretty in-depth.
I personally start working with them usually at the end of their sophomore year, but what's important is when they get into high school that they understand the coursework that they take, they understand the importance of their grades, they understand the importance of getting involved in schools and their activities, and I start guiding them through their academics in their freshman and sophomore year. And it's important that once they get into high school, they understand the importance of those grades, they understand that that the activities they do are important, and that they understand that they need to keep an eye out on some of their testing, that PSAT, and that plan that they take, their indicators of what's important, and maybe they need to get involved in some test prep early on. But they don't need to go crazy. They'll drive themselves nuts if they start thinking too early about the process, but they need to start looking at the end of their sophomore year. I start looking into the college application process as far as thinking about areas of interest, and I start working with them on what interests them, and I start talking to them about their test prep, and then I start talking to them about their academics and what schools they might be interested in, and it's just a progression that they go through. I try to take them through gradually and make them understand that the most important thing are their grades, and that they explore as much as possible through high school and explore those core academics, those English, math, history, science, and foreign languages, and explore them in depth as much as possible, and really look at those courses and do well in their coursework, and then explore those activities and do the things that they enjoy, not the things that they think the colleges are going to look for. And that's the big thing. The kids are always like, what are the colleges going to want? And it's not about that. It's about what do you enjoy, and do things that you enjoy. And that's what I try to get the kids to do.
See, that was my next question. Seriously, how competitive is the admission process? And colleges do look specifically for certain things. And you're saying don't play to that, is what I'm hearing you say.
I mean, college is as competitive as you want it to be. I mean, if you're looking for Harvard and Stanford, obviously it's competitive. But 80 to 90% of the colleges the students can get into. But the students need to do the things that they enjoy. There's nothing worse than sitting down with a student and you ask them, okay, we need to write an essay, and what did you enjoy? And they look at you and they say nothing. And you ask them, well, why did you do that activity? And they say, well, it looks good for college. And colleges aren't stupid. They see through those things. They want you to be engaged, and colleges choose those kids who are engaged and who are enthusiastic. So it is competitive at those highest ends, but what's more important is that you enjoy what you're doing, and that you excel, and that you do the best at what you can do. And the college for you is out there. There are, over 4,000 colleges out there. Students can get into a college, so that they need to focus on their academic ability. They need to do the best that they can do in their core courses. They need to focus on what it is that they want to do, and they need to get involved in the activities that interest them, and they need to be well-rounded in those things. Explore community service, explore doing a job, explore athletics, explore the arts, but explore things. It's better to explore and fail at home in high school than to go off in college and fall apart. And I'd rather see a student try things now than to fall apart and not tackle something here at home. And you know, you want to try some honors and AP courses now and try the things now and do it. But yes, it is competitive at the highest end. And you know, it depends on where you live. We live in an area that's competitive, and some of our schools are highly competitive. And our colleges are highly competitive, but not all of them. So, you know, it depends on what you want.
There's a college for everybody, I suppose, but and we don't have much time left. The other goal, I guess, of certainly parents and kids are to get out in 4 years. I mean, you grow, you know, sophomore seems so young, and then you graduate, that seems so young. What if you don't really know what path to take? Any advice there? I mean, so that you can still get out in 4 years, is that possible?
It's completely doable. 4 years is completely doable if a student goes out there and understands you know, the difference between going to a school that is going to allow you, look for that college that is going to allow the coursework that you take to go towards your major. So if you go to a college that every course you take goes towards your major. If you choose a college where the courses you take are geared towards that path, and if you change your major, then that course doesn't go towards that major, then you're in trouble. It's very doable to graduate in 4 years, especially those kids who bring in AP credits or they have courses like that. And as long as the kids have an idea of what they want to do and they choose their courses wisely in college, and it's very doable to graduate in 4 years.
So if folks want to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
My website is CMH College Consulting, and I can be reached at chall@cmhcollegeconsulting.com.
I wish I'd hooked up with you early on in my, because my beach criteria thing didn't work out at all. So, but see how important this is. Thank you so much for being
You're
here.
welcome.
Really appreciate the insight. Up next, we'll hear from some folks from NC State's Office of Undergraduate Admissions and find out what they're looking for in prospective students. Stay with us.